In the early pre-dawn darkness of August 25th, 2017, Bengali Muslim Islamic terrorists launched unprecedented multiple surprise attacks on 50 to 80 targets, about 30 police and army outposts, and dozens of villages populated by Buddhists, Hindus, and ethnic tribal peoples.
Unari senari kima turu siwe lo bidoge tombaza ruata wa anu shamble me lo presha me rwanje zi lo blebo lo turu ye pe oro la ge de turu dongna dana ye jelo ruata kraw lo le hobi ge de joma hobi ga phu cha lo ma li ye tai ko jelo ata kha ke ba turu te ga raw la lo jelo aba chen ta so ye phu pha le de pha le ga le chen do la phu ba la ye ali kong ga
Fa khai da sa bole dula bare to be ro we da ro ye ja ko krong na bri bale to be do sa ro khon bri ma to be do ro khon bri ma ro khon fa ro khon bri ma ni ro ja to krong na bri bale
min pha mi ro bri ba sa to be ma ro
to be do ma min pha mi ro bri ba sa lo mo ka ja to krong na bri ba sa le to be do ro bri sa ga ro khon bri ma ro khon fa ni to be do bri ba sa ga ja to krong na bri bale the big daughter ma mung pa mung ba mung pa aba among khabo the big daughter ma ko go jara tan ma jara mi a gu ja go aba ba mang ja go ba mang ja go khara ba le the big daughter ma thui thi go ba bang khara khani la ba le bu hok lom ho lo cha da le chen ja ke ba agu ko la di ga thogan hei sa da ban hei sa ta kha di na ro khani sa ko thoma khwa na thong le ke ro khoi sa be se sa ma li yok phai le ke kula bin sa tha ma sai yok phai le ki nya pa ji kra ri ro khoi sa.
The attackers were the ever troublesome Bengali Muslims, also known as Rohingya, this time under the banner of ARSA, the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army, an Islamic terrorist group with a larger Islamic agenda. Upon slaughtering the security forces, stealing weapons and much ammo, the squads of Islamic fighters stormed into villages, slashing, killing, and burning, and in some cases gathering terrified villagers, marching them out to pre-dug pits, and savagely executing them until all were dead, dumping the bodies into the mass graves, many of them with tongues and ears cut off and limbs and heads hacked off.
Ya kalau kado ka, kalau go ya wa, nanai lama. Kalau ro English na dia pun hijau, tapi berita sodi go, nanai lama mesti coba. Kalau kalau tak tu bukan, pilu alu bang apa itu.
This event constitutes one of the largest Islamic terrorist attacks anywhere in the world, with an unprecedented number of targets, involving 4,000 to 8,000 assailants over an area of more than 100 kilometers long. Furthermore, major attacks by ARSA and its village supporters continued for many days, and in outer areas for weeks. It was all-out war. After the initial multiple target terrorist attacks, as the militants were repulsed and the security forces were hot on their path, many ARSA terrorists and the villagers who joined with them torched their own houses and villages. This is best proven by the interrogations of dozens of captured militants who gave great detail in describing who ordered them to burn the homes and villages and exactly how they carried it out. As you can see, the prisoners tell of and name the Maulawis, which is the Bengali term for imams, and that the Maulawis and the ARSA leaders are the leaders, planners, commanders, and authorities that ordered the villagers to burn their homes and to flee to Bangladesh. They also threatened Bengali villagers who wanted to stay that ARSA militants would come back and cut their heads off. These interrogations vividly show striking details of how they were recruited, who recruited them, the role of the Maulawis, the Bengali term for imams, in planning and leading, how they trained for the attacks, where they trained, how they prepared, how they attacked, what weapons they had, which targets they attacked, how many infidels did they kill or think they killed, how many of their fellow attackers were killed or wounded, what their goal was, why they fled to Bangladesh, who ordered them to burn their own homes and villages, and how they were captured. As well, they constantly named others who participated in these savage attacks and may not yet be captured. These documents also showcase the incredible amount of violence and death threats in their own inherently violent culture. The Burmese army was very busy during the first 2 or 3 weeks of the war. They had to rescue, protect, and assist thousands of villagers who were trapped in villages surrounded by frenzied and maniacal Muslims with no means of escape because of blown-up bridges by the Muslims, landmines laid by the Muslims, and great fears of being ambushed, overwhelmed, and slaughtered. At the same time, the army had the duty, as all armies have, to neutralize the immediate threat against the civilians and kill, capture, or drive away the enemy. Let's be very clear and leave no doubt. The Bengali Muslims, also known as Rohingya, made themselves the enemy, not only by launching Asia's largest terrorist attacks in history against a government, security forces, and civilians, but also by systematically planning to actualize a genocidal goal of ethnic cleansing of all non-Muslims, seizing the land and declaring it an autonomous Islamic state. If they had succeeded, it would be an extremist apartheid state ruled by Islamic Sharia law, where women would be veiled, sequestered, and abused, gays would be killed, there would be no infidels among them, and it would be a land of no progress, no development, no multiculturalism, and no diversity. Besides the dominant culture of the Arakan Buddhists, the Hindu minority was savagely attacked. In one instance alone, about 100 Hindus were corralled and marched out of the cluster of villages in Kamong Sake, where they were tortured, executed, and dumped into the pre-dug mass graves.
Arigo Paisa Gayansha, Kanala Bank, the Sesharani. No, yeah, Selaban, Selaban, the Singarani. A big Yanshagani, big Tonoroma, Aguimaga, Luchurele Mishiba, Tonoro Takupula Buzule, Akakipani Valley, Ubomalepala, Pomalepala, Epepani Valley. In Nosumaga, Tonoro, in Mitazutiga, Emazapana, Lani Sosugi, Tonore Pungi Chautigo, Turula, Bigi Piasiba. Ematuru Ware, any Amalagale sheep or day, any Amalagale she side, Inti Batima would be gay, but for the Shizayama Shisa Bare through in PCT Alupulu Lahabare, again Tagadi Shisa Yansala Polo Polo Lahabare. Toro Meta to the Gasaya. A good lashi Toro.
Tomorrow he notigo. A column table, Matuago, Totima table bare. A good rogo. Seta lalo unimosoa Hindu gonsan turo lalo metega yubare turugo Jamara Hindu ka khalane ne pete me shiba ko doka lolo kosa sa Hindu ka kosi pore ko lolo sa sa tayane renu sa shiba Hindu ka Era chano Banglika Kalaga Machina, Chamala Hindu to play Barakulu. Mikle Mashay Gogagu Bangla Mayuto Bariturugo. Yutora Ashimata Malapi Yasi Lover and Turugo. Nabi the Bidu Hindu Boma Pet and Alo Turugo. Campoma Tabare, Campoma Tabarago Turugo.
Sasa Rani said Yaposuba, Yenia Sari, Eniga Musabi, Nabengara, Natralo Sugi. Ngaro Muslim Badati Umano Shigi, Morogo like she level. A Paluko, Probin up by Turugaya by Probin up by Turuga Swala Habai. Parazin, no Parazon, Parazon, Gufia, Parazon Matagi, or Debada Mokugi, Parazon of Gufia, Yabai Lupo. Every strong number is a dish. A Parazon of Gufia, more de Ma, Nibuzuki, Maropa, Tatigo, Wango Marabo, Mawanumara, to be Ryan and Posuba.
Mema, Teoya, Yajaji Tonya, Kaleton Ara Patamason, who about Chilabai, or Nasana Kunia Nebo, Ara Mutajima, Tapida, or Muslim Kalazoria, Tapida, Nobiro, General, Anina Mabo, who are Zimana Sura, Ruashira, Emma Solution, Tamia, Taye, or Tamia Pia, two Kodabiro, or Kodora Beshibara.
The tribal ethnicities that are also indigenous to this land are in great danger of extermination, as their small numbers are whacked down by the murderous Bengali Muslims.
Tenena Sola Ka, Kindoroga, Japan Punzenina, Senjava, a Tapaka, Demodole, a Tapa Malani by the Gangrava, Grave, a Nore, Kindoro, the next for Mirama, Senjalika, Pecum Cop, Bangaling Dina Demodona, Pekis, but Mana by Kaka, Kindoro Tamiba. Hangminga Kinologa, Aranoka, Aratakin Swaka, Pecum Hobia, O Tamia, O Tatumitico, Lalo Port, General Soka. General
Lucky Bagado got the Picom there, Shiba. I'm a private guy, Peninsula. You know, a Picom there. Chamchang Rock from Sai, but now, Temado from Saba. Saka.
You are need to go down to Makalati, Kadilla, Tomido, Amati, Nami, and Tomido, Neighborhood, Jaulo, Kadilla, Tomidoa, Lotiro, and Yama, Tofu, Tomido, Chadabi, Tomido, you are Tida, Tenju, Pinama Pini, Tomido, you are Tenju, Pinama Pinido, Ajalo, Tomido, Tomian, Tominamia, Sinulo Kobani, Nakadilla, Tomido, Jaubio, Matoya, Almopsinia. Anybody out of the serious from a team, follow Tabio Villa. And out of the serious from the Middle people, on Tabio, the death Tabio. Alamoka, don't see an option if it's a minute of casing out of the rest of Luna, Yawalo, the middle of Luna, Yawalo, the middle of Catilla. Lamotao, Lamotilla, Notamatoya, Matania, Lamopina. Send you Pena Machia.
ကဘင်္ဂလားဒေ့ရှ်လာပြီးအိန္ဒိယတင်းမင်းတက်လဲလို့ probably ဖို့အခါမှာရေတီစခန်းရှာလို့ရှိပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်အတူတူဝင်ပြီးလာတာပါတမန်ဆောက်မနေ့ခိုင်ရပါတယ်တမန်ဆောက်ရောမဇာမျိုးခိုင်ရလို့ဆိုရင်ဒီမှာကိုလာတီဘင်္ဂလားဒေ့ရှ်အများကြီးသူပြီးပြီလောက်တကွယ်ပမလုံးလုံးကလို့ခုံလို့လာခဲ့တဲ့ဆိုတော့တိုက်ဖို့လို့စခန်းကိုတိုက်ဖို့လို့ဒီကရတမန်ဆောက်စုတူလုံးဒီမှာကျောင်းတကျောင်းဟိပိုင်မှာကျောင်းတမန်ဆောက်ကျောင်းလို့ရကျောင်းမနေခဲ့တဲ့ဝင်ပြီးကနေငါတော့ဆက်သူပြီးကဒီမှာတော့ရေစခန်းကလည်း၄ခုရမှာပုံပြီးကလင်ခါပါရီစိုက်စားလေးမတော့ပါရကလူရှမိုးလေးလုံးမရှိရာရီတိကပန်လာပြီးကကိုလာတဲ့မျိုးစတိကလူရှလို့တဲ့ပတ်ဖုံးလုံးရှိတူကိုဖောက်ပြီးကရတာခေါခင်းခါပြီးကရောမင်းဝါရဆိုပြီးကလာတော့ပါစတဲ့ညတမန်စကနေခင်ရှုံးတီလမ်းလျှောက်လို့လာတာပဲသူကခံလို့ဘုခေပါတယ်နဲ့ရှောင်းမလားပါဒီစားအိန္ဒိယတဲ့အလုံးတခြားဟိန္ဒူနရဝတူပရောခွိုင်ပါရဲ့ဒီစားကဒိုင်နာတိုရာလူဝမလာဝိုင်းအခုလုံးရကလာတိကရဲ့အင်တီကိုမိတိုက်တဲ့စရောအင်တီစရောမင်းတိုက်ပြီးဘီလ်ခါရဲ့တချို့လူတွေပဲရှိပါတယ်ဒီစလေအလုံးခါခိဝါချစကား
This conflict is not new at all. Bengali Muslims launched coordinated multiple target attacks on October 9th, 2016, and a huge wave of attacks in 2012, and many other incidences all the way back to 1942, the year of the Mongda massacre, the largest slaughter in contemporary Burmese history. 30,000 or so Buddhists killed in Mongda town alone, hundreds of Buddhist villages burnt and destroyed, and over 100,000 Buddhist refugees fled for their lives. Actually, the Mongda massacre is preceded by countless other episodes of attacks by Muslims. 500 years ago, the Muslim genocidal conquest reached the borders of the Buddhist kingdom of Arakan. Muslim armies tried and failed many times to conquer the Arakanese. If ever the Muslims succeed, this unique culture of the world would be gone forever in a massive genocidal ethnic cleansing. From ancient times to the present, there has been a non-ending campaign against the Rakhine Buddhists. In these days, it is also a campaign of deceit and manipulation of media, history, opinion, and culpability, which has largely succeeded in fooling and manipulating people into demonizing Buddhists and even Buddhism, as the Rakhine people try to keep their homeland, their culture, and their Buddhist ways from falling into oblivion. One very upsetting issue that you can see is the abuse and brainwashing of children. In the madrasas, the Islamic religious schools, where they emerge filled with absolute hatred and intolerance against all non-Muslims, especially idol worshippers, that is, the Buddhists and Hindus, for whom Islam instructs Muslims to kill without hesitation. These kids will grow up to be extremists, vicious killers in the name of Islam.
বেশি বড় জিহাদ ইবা মানে এলি গই তোরা জিহাদ ইবা মানে এলিলে কি বলি হইলে গুলি হাইবা বলে নডরায় গুলি হাইবা বলে নডরায় গুলি হইলে কিসে দু জিনিলা নাকি ফেরাই হরে এন্দিলা দুঃখ পাবে তোমরা ফেরা হরে দেনিলা দু দুঙ্গাইবা আর আল্লাহ জান্নাত মাদে আল্লাহ তাআলা
Saiden naga yama lo ne daram baida phone ye so ka diga lo jin lo ne daram baida ma chang da bi ge ne daram ma saiden ko den si den tong den bong bi ge ne daram ma si den ong ma hai bi ya pai ba chino lo yama ne daram baida ma chong si den ong so ba yama sa ba ne so pai ba ye chino re de kha chino lo di phai sin ga chino lo kala na chino lo de da ba so le Nasingani.
August lan nasingani. Manhong si kanai August lan nasingani.
Nong si kanai August nasingani. Ya ma ni ka pa bai zo ba tana ri lama bai zo. Mo tha chu mo ya ma yo thana san di ga bu ya di yo pu ba le ha. Di du ko di na ma thao lo ma kai ya. Di su bu kan ya mo ko ni la so la ya du a ki la le di ya phai wo chi du su na. Chu no wo tong zo ye ko ha ba ye tong ko ma. Chúng nó có thể xả thải bụi nên ta đang không trong của giá cả mấy mươi đồng bụi vậy, giá mà cái nên ta đang không trong hình vi này, xả bụi cái mà không khen rồi vậy, xả đồ lê vậy thì giá vậy xả đồ bao rồi, vậy xả bụi cái nên ta đang trong cái hình vi này, nếu không sang đi cổ nên là không khen vậy đấy, không sang đi cổ không khen thì khá, chúng nó rồi giá cả ông nhà lô giá cả, nếu không sang đi rồi cô nào trong bộ này lúc này nào vậy nào đó không
তোরা তাকত কি আল্লাহ তোরা হাতিয়ার কি আল্লাহ তোরা হিম্মত কি আল্লাহ শাবাশ তেলিন মারি দেবে না মারিও গুলি তেরা ট্রাম গাড়ি মারিও ট্রাম গাড়ি মারিও বামানে भी মারি দেবে না মারিও আল্লাহ রহমত করে কেন tamam Osmanlı Davud diddar কেন Osmanlı ve bugün yalla magay
Ya Osmanlı Davud de
Arakan man dedan ari gunja atal lamaga ara gunabar odum to begunar mak hod mak sab 2-3 tar mare agi kachi tachi